Stand back! It's a trap! The police don't aim it here! Get off the street! Get down!
Cheer up, Karen. Look, he wanted to go. Besides, what could happen? Everything will be all right.
He didn't want to go, you know. Green, what's wrong?
Just to hand the latest news on the O'Connell manhunt. The details are sketchy so far, but there was a gunfight when O'Connell was tapped by police while trying to visit his mother. Police called on him to surrender, but he started shooting. It's understood that at least 2 people are dead. 1 policeman has been wounded and another killed. A man believed to be an innocent bystander has also been killed. O'Connell's whereabouts are not presently known.
You're all right. Thank God.
My car's over there. Get in it.
What for?
Do you want to get yourself arrested?
What for?
Well, I don't know. Consulting, withholding information. You're on parole, remember? What are you going to say to the police if they ask you why you're here? They've already arrested Pat O'Connell. Oh, no. Get in my car.
He say anything before he died?
No.
Oh, you know how bad the policeman was he shot?
I'll contact you later about the formalities.
Oh, here's my surgery number.
Thank you. We're lucky you're on hand.
Wasn't much I could do. Certainly not for him.
Well, he got what he deserved.
I understand you saw the whole thing, officer. I believe a policeman was shot too.
Yes, they've taken him to hospital. He's in a pretty bad way.
And the dead man, that's David O'Connell.
Oh, no, he got away. That was his accomplice.
Do you know his name?
Not yet.
Keep it clean. I'll put a new dressing on it tomorrow. Dr. Miller won't be in at all today, sister. Can you cope on your own? That's the last one, anyway. What was wrong with Lizzie Birdsworth?
Well, I've no idea. She came into the surgery and then dashed off. Couldn't have been too important.
I should have known. Another excuse to dodge work. They think they can do as they please.
Birdsworth! Birdsworth!
Give me that.
Ah, here, have a nip. It'll put hairs on your chest.
Get on your feet.
Can't. I'm a bit wobbly on my pins.
I said stand up.
You come and sit here. She pinched me grog. You'd steal from your own mother. 4 tired horse, 3 pots of beer, a demi-john of whiskey, and a partridge in a... Oh.
Contrary to earlier reports, there has been only 1 fatality so far. The dead man, Shane Berkeley, of no fixed address, is believed to have been an accomplice of prison escapee David John O'Connell. However, of the 2 police shot and wounded, 1 is in a critical condition. Police authorities are withholding the names of the 2 men until relatives are notified.
I've given Doreen a couple of these. I'll leave the rest with you. The instructions are on the bottle. Better not let her get hold of them. She'll probably be very depressed when she wakes up. Don't want her doing anything stupid.
Greg, what's wrong? You haven't said a word since we left Pad's place.
I'm sorry, I just don't feel very talkative, that's all.
Sorry I got you into all this. Did the police want to know why you were there?
Told them I was visiting my patient, Mrs. Devlin. Nothing suspicious in that. It's you turning up like you did. That was stupid, Karen.
When I heard on the radio, I thought you'd been shot.
Yes, that'll probably do. If the police want to know, you can say that I was going to see Mrs. Devlin and that you were concerned for my safety. Promise me something, Karen. Forget Pat O'Connell and her whole family. Never see them again.
You can't just dump them.
You must.
Oh, Greg, I can't. I can be of use to Pat and her family. I need to be useful.
You'll end up in Wentworth. Nobody needs that.
I can't change the way I am.
Well, neither can I, but if this hasn't made you see sense, then nothing will. Look, if the halfway house is going to involve us in violence, it's the last thing either of us need. I'm not going to stand by and watch you destroy yourself.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, there's nothing more to be said, is there?
Greg.
Sorry, Karen.
Oh, Greg, please listen.
Oh, Johnny. Oh, Johnny. Oh, Johnny. Oh. Oh, Mr. Fletcher. Come in, come in. I'll offer you a drink, honey. There's none left. How about having a dance?
Birdsworth, stop that at once.
Hands,
I think you're better off sitting down in your condition, Lizzie.
Oh, rubbish. Dancing's good for you. Miss Bennet, did you pinch my coffee jar?
Yes.
Well, I hope you didn't drink it all at once.
What are we going to do with her?
Well, I think we'd better let her sleep it off for a start.
Mr. Fletcher, Miss Bennett, you're wanted in reception.
Right. Lock Birdsworth in, will you?
Oh, Mr. Stig, would you like to have a dance? Oh, bloody young people, so rude these days. Oh, Johnny. Oh, Johnny. Oh.
She should be in solitary.
Oh, you know we can't do that. She's got a weak heart.
Nevertheless,
Anyway, what's the point? She wouldn't know she was there.
You are going to report her.
Of course.
What's so amusing?
Oh, those decanters in Erica's office must have been torturing poor old Lizzie for months. I'm surprised it hasn't happened before.
You think it's funny? An inmate breaking into the governor's office and stealing liquor?
No, not at all. I've said all along that our security needs tightening up. This just proves my point. What did she tell you was in that jar?
A sample for Dr. Miller.
Prisoner for admittance.
O'Connell, what are you doing back here?
They never stay out for long. Stand on the white line.
Is this it?
Snap out of it. What's your name?
Patricia Mary Teresa O'Connell.
Consorting, breaking parole.
Your precious son again. You were charged with breaking parole by consorting with a known criminal. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
Now empty your pockets and put everything on the table. Then go behind that screen for a body search. Well, hurry up. I haven't got all day.
What happened?
You mean you haven't heard yet? There was a shootout at her place. Young O'Connell and one of his mates. She was found in their company.
Might have known.
The bastard killed one of our boys.
Have you got him yet?
No, but we will. And when we do...
Still got that perfume I gave you?
Of course.
I think it's about time I got something in return.
Such as?
Clothes. Things I can wear outside without being recognised. Must be plenty of stuff like that hanging around in maternity.
What you going to give me for it?
Well, I've already given you the perfume.
Oh, that was for me. What about the clothes?
Well, what do you want? I haven't got any money.
Well, what have you got?
What do you mean?
Fags? Drugs?
Of course not.
I've plenty in the surgery.
You get them.
I'm not sticking my neck out for you. You want them, you get them.
You said you were going to help me.
I am. I got a key.
key.
How do you think I got into the surgery?
How'd you get it?
I made it in the workshop out of an old nail file. Well, do you want it or don't you? You just remember to give it back. Get any of the pills on the top shelf of the glass cabinet.
What sort of pills are they?
Why should you care? You won't be taking any of them, will you?
I could do with the hair of the dog.
No dogs in here, Lizzie.
I'll see you later.
I don't know. She's a right bitch.
She's okay.
She'd sell you as quick as look at you.
You might be right.
Now, what are you doing in here, Lizzie?
Oh, I've got a shocking headache, Mrs. Jackson.
Then you can get something for it at sick parade.
I'm sorry you had to come back, Pat.
Hurry along now, Lizzie. You too, Pat, go take a shower. The police are waiting to question you.
About what? They know more about it than I do. They were just waiting for it to happen. Waiting for Davy to turn up so they could shoot him.
Well, from what I heard, he shot first. Or are you saying he didn't?
I don't know. It all happened so quickly. Either way, it doesn't matter now. They won't even try to take him alive next time.
Then he'd be better off giving himself up, wouldn't he?
To say that he wouldn't be in till later.
Oh, never mind. I'll catch up with him later. I'm afraid things are looking pretty black, Mrs. O'Connell. You've broken your parole. Consorting with a known criminal, a wanted man on the run. I can appreciate you wanting to help your son, but you must know, in the eyes of the law, that's no excuse. You must realize that if you go back to prison, your other children are going to have to be put in a home. Now, you can't do anything to help David, Mrs. O'Connell, but the little ones, you can do something there.
What?
Well, for a start, why did you want to see David? You must have known the risk you were running.
I thought he might listen to me. I wanted him to give himself up.
Did you have any other message for him? Or provisions, clothing, food, road maps, that sort of thing?
No.
Have you any idea where he might be hiding out? Look, Mrs. O'Connell, we'll help you if you help us. We'll try and get you back with your children. If you can tell us where David is now, that would be a great help.
How should I know?
You know, I think if David knew that the kids were going to suffer because of him, he'd give himself up, don't you?
Maybe.
Well, then, he'd understand if you told us where he is.
But I can't. I don't know.
Since his escape, you haven't had any prior contact with him?
I told you no.
Any other message for another person? Another one of his mates, perhaps? And you've no idea where he might be?
No.
I think you better give us a full statement, Mrs. O'Connell. Give her a piece of paper and a pen. Take your time, Mrs. O'Connell.
You in there, Herbie? Herbie! Oh, you took your time. Shooting through, are you?
Jesus, I thought you would have been out of the state.
Bloody cops swarming everywhere. I was lucky to get this far. Where's Shane?
You mean you don't know?
I didn't hang around to ask him, did I? Where is he?
He's dead.
Dead? How?
Said on the radio one of the coppers got him.
Bastards.
Yeah. It was all your bloody fault.
Don't give me that.
You know, it's the truth. Said on the radio he shot one of the coppers. Stone dead. They're going to skin you alive, mate. You've got to get out of the state.
I've got nowhere else to go.
Jesus, what a mess. What happened?
I don't know. Shane went to get Mum. I stayed in the car waiting for him. They started to cross the street. 2 cars pulled up. This plainclothes guy was yelling at Mum. I fired a couple of shots. There were cops everywhere. How did they know it was me? I've been thinking about it all night. It couldn't have been Mum. There wasn't time. You?
Me? I haven't been out of the place since you left. I did just as you said. If I had, I wouldn't still be around, would I?
I suppose not.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go. There's nothing more I can do. I'll see you later, okay?
You're not going anywhere. Sit down. Unless you want me to think you did dob me in. You better do as I say, Herbie. I've got nothing to lose now.
Now, this is your statement. Listen to it carefully. I answered the doorbell on the day in question to Shane Berkeley. I had met him once or twice before and knew he was a friend of David's. He told me David was outside in a car and wanted to say goodbye before leaving the state. I decided to try and persuade him to give himself up. I went with Berkeley towards the car. We were only halfway when there were shots and Berkeley fell. Police arrived from several directions. The car drove off. I don't know if David was in it. I had not seen or heard from him since he escaped from prison and have not heard from him since. I have no knowledge of where he is at the present time. Do you have anything to add?
No.
You better sign that as a true and accurate record of your statement. Sergeant Reynolds, would you date and witness the signatures, please? If you should think of anything else, it would help your position. You know where to find me.
Inspector,
Yes?
could you get a message on the radio saying I wanted David to give himself up?
Certainly. Be pleased to. Might help.
Come along, Pat.
If she didn't reach David before the shooting, I don't see how they can possibly convict her of consorting.
You still think she's got a chance, then?
Yeah. Unless they can prove they met on an earlier occasion. She didn't even make contact. Greg stopped that.
I hope the court sees it that way.
Well, they're bound to. Where is Greg, by the way?
Working, I guess.
At the surgery?
I don't know, at the surgery or the prison. Why?
It's just that they've put one of the paper's top reporters on this story, and he'll probably want to ask Greg a few questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. This hasn't worked out very well for anyone, has it? Not even you.
How do you mean?
Losing your story.
Oh, no, I haven't lost it. He's just working with me. Which reminds me, I better be going. I'm meeting him for lunch. you see Greg, will you tell him I'm trying to get in touch?
I won't be seeing him.
You two had an argument. About helping Pat O'Connell?
Yes. He doesn't think I should have become involved. He doesn't understand that this is my job. That's why I'm running this place, to help ex-prisoners.
He knows that. You can't blame him for trying to protect you.
What about protecting Pat?
That's different. He doesn't love her,
He doesn't love me either.
doesn't he?
I used to think he did, but he doesn't. If he did, he would have said so by now.
Well, it's not always easy to say how you feel.
Why not?
Have you told him how you feel? I guess we're all like that at times. I'll see you later.
Ah, there's quite a crowd waiting to see
Yes,
you.
all right, Meg, I know I'm late.
Oh, I didn't mean that. Well, the story's got around that you were there at the shooting. Everybody wants to gossip.
Oh, I could do without it.
Obviously.
Oh, Meg, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Must have been a pretty unnerving experience.
No, it's not that exactly.
Oh?
No, I just had an argument with Karen.
Oh. Well, you better go and make it up with her. There's enough trouble around here already.
All right, Lizzie, come in.
Oh, I thought you'd never get here.
And what's the trouble today?
A hangover. Like a bowling alley in me head. Had a bit of excitement yesterday.
Dissolve these in water, all right?
I suppose you're not allowed to talk about it.
Look, I do have other things to do, Lizzie.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Suppose there were lots of police there, eh?
Yes, 8 or 9. Where did you get this?
I never saw it before in all my life.
Yes, Mrs. Davidson, please. Oh, Mr. Fletcher, then. Jim? Jim, it's Greg here. Look, somebody's been at the cabinet again, the drugs cabinet. Yes, well, it was closed, but everything seemed to be in order. But I just found a Tuinol capsule on the floor. It's barbiturate. Well, the sister was here yesterday, but it's not the sort of thing she would touch. Well, I won't know that until I've done a full inventory, but I suggest you conduct a search immediately. Yes, okay. All right, Lizzie, turn your pockets out.
Come in here. Is that all you got?
I was lucky to get these. I was almost caught.
God. Well, you should have got more than that.
I couldn't, I tell you. I didn't have time. Anyway, it ought to be enough for a lousy maternity dress that nobody wants.
But you'll need other things. You'll need information and contacts. And you'll have to pay for them.
I'll worry about that later. Just get me that dress.
Latham, haven't you finished yet?
Coming, Miss Bennett.
Just a moment, Miss Bennett.
Well, hurry up.
Back with Mojo heaping the bird dogs after this flash from the 3MC newsroom. Don't go away.
There's nothing out there.
Just keep looking, would you? I'll take over after the news.
Mrs. Patricia O'Connell, mother of David O'Connell, prison escapee, today appealed to her son to give himself up. Mrs. O'Connell is in Wentworth Women's Detention Centre awaiting trial on charges of assisting her son. Meanwhile, Inspector Allen of the crime squad said that the police were following several leads and expected an early arrest.
No, your mum's right, Dave.
What do you mean, right?
About giving yourself up.
She didn't say that. That's just a load of crap the cops made up. She wouldn't tell me to give myself up. Not now, not after what happened.
What do you think she'll get?
Oh, how the hell should I know? I don't even know why they arrested her. What's she done?
Consorting with you, wasn't she?
She was nowhere near me. The bloody cops arrived before she even got a chance to cross the street.
What about the time when she came here to see you?
They don't know about that unless you told them.
If I did, they'd be arresting me too.
If you did, they wouldn't get a chance.
Oh, come off it, Dave. What are you threatening me for? It's not my fault you're in this mess.
I'm not in a mess. I just want to wait till Mum's trial's over, okay? Then I'll go. Now get back to the window. I'm not going back inside again. Not for anyone. I'll kill anybody that tries to make me.
Might help if you told us what you were looking for.
Then you'd tell me where it is, I suppose. Move.
I've just made that.
Well, then you can make it again. I thought you enjoyed housework. You were so keen to get back to your family. Not that that lasted long.
Pat's only just got back in here. She wouldn't have had time to pinch anything.
Who said anything was pinched?
Well, they must be looking for something.
Maybe I just enjoy searching your cells.
I've no doubt you do.
Is this your bed?
No, it is.
Then make sure it's tidy by the time I get back.
Cow. You all right?
Yes, it's just getting a bit much for me, that's all.
Why don't you go and see the doctor?
No.
Well, why not? He might give you something to help you relax.
Oh, he's helped enough.
You don't blame him, do you?
Oh, no. No, I don't blame him.
I'll get you something.
That's what I like about Vera. She really enjoys her work.
Yeah. This isn't your cell, Smith. Get outside. You too, Lizzie.
But it is my cell.
Birdsworth.
Come on, you two, move it. Come on.
What do you reckon they're looking for, Ben?
Ah, good, I know, Lizzie. Here, you haven't been to the governor's grog again, have you?
There was nothing left after the last time. I'll bet she knows something, though.
How come?
Well, I saw Chrissy Latham trying to teach her how to pick locks, and this morning they were having a proper chin wag down in the showers.
Oh, were they now?
Holding out on me, eh? You little bitch.
What are you talking about?
The pills in that handkerchief. Hand them over.
No. I gave you enough for the dress. These are mine. I was the one that took all the risks. I was the one who broke into the examination room.
With my key. You hand them over or I'll thump you.
There's any thumping to be done. I'll do it.
I don't need your help.
Well, you're going to get it anyway. And what have you got there, as if I didn't know?
It's none of your business.
Hand it over.
No.
Please? Thank you.
What's going on here?
Just dropping here for a chat, Vera. Can't use our own rooms. Someone's pulling them apart.
Where'd you get these?
Found them on the floor.
Oh, don't give me that, Smith. Latham?
They're Colson's. She pinched them.
Bloody lag. That's enough of that, Colson. You're going to see the governor. Latham, you come along as a witness, Mrs. Powell. You two can clean up your cells. They're an absolute mess.
Poor little Roz. Oh, poor be buggered. If she's into taking drugs, she needs to be taught a lesson. And if the governor can't do it, I will.
I suppose we could put a double lock on the drugs cupboard.
Oh, what good will that do? We've just had the locks changed. Besides, the thing's only made of glass. If they're that desperate, they'll smash their way in.
I suppose you're right. We'll just have to make sure that the women don't go anywhere near the examination room without being accompanied by an officer. I'll speak to Mr. Fletcher about it. Come in.
Last. Stand
Yes. Erica Davidson. Oh, yes, Mrs. Jackson. Well, whose locker was it?
Are these what you're looking for?
Oh, I see. Well, would you mind bringing them to the
Yes.
office now? Dr.
Are they all there?
Yes.
I can't be sure until I've done a stock take, but it looks like most of them anyway.
Not quite all. Mrs. Jackson has just found some pills in a locker in the maternity wing. What do you have to say about that, Latham?
Oh, I bet you didn't find them in my locker.
Oh, no. You're not stupid enough to do that, are you? Where were these pills found?
In the showers. Latham says they belong to Coulson.
Well?
I'm not lagging.
Oh, you're learning fast. It's quite a coincidence that on both occasions pills have been found. You have been involved, Latham.
Well, like you said, it's just a coincidence.
Well, in the future, the corridor gate between maternity and the main wing will be locked at all times. That way, these coincidences will not happen again. I'm very disappointed in you, Coulson. When you first arrived here, there was a certain amount of sympathy for you.
Yes. That's why I'm still here.
Well, unless you have some explanation for your behavior, I shall have no alternative but to put you back into solitary. Very well. Miss Bennett, take Latham back to the maternity wing and put Coulson in solitary for 48 hours.
All right, Smith, out of bed. You too, O'Connell. The police will be here for you any minute now.
I thought my case didn't come up till this afternoon.
All I know is that they'll be coming first thing this morning. Now get dressed.
Well, Miss Bennett, has there been any news about David? Has he decided to give himself up?
Oh, what do you think?
She doesn't know, does she? Otherwise she wouldn't ask.
Here,
I've got a question for you. Where's Roz?
In solitary. Where you'll be, Smith, if you don't watch your mouth. Remember, you're the one I caught holding those drugs.
G'day, Bee.
G'day, Lizzie.
Get any sleep last night, Pat?
Not much.
We'll say she didn't. Tossing and turning all night. Neither of us got any rest.
Sorry. Roz was probably better off in solitary.
Better off than she deserves. Never mind. I'll get her when she comes out.
Oh, Bee, don't be too hard on her. She was only getting me a couple of tranquilizers.
Yeah? Well, who are the rest of the pills for, then? She wasn't giving them all away. She was trafficking. And no one gets away with that. Not while I'm around.
Bee's just got a thumper. Otherwise, everybody will think she's getting too soft. You know her rules about drugs. Oh, come on, love. We'll be late for breaking.
Good morning, Inspector Allen.
Mrs. Davidson?
What brings you here?
Mrs. O'Connell's due in court today. We're driving her in.
I wouldn't have thought that was your job.
Well, I've got to be in court anyway to give evidence.
And you thought you might ask her some questions about her son on the way? Do you think she has a chance of being released?
Hard to say. She claims she went outside to persuade O'Connell to give himself up. Bit hard to punish her for that.
Well, let's hope so. For her children's sake as well as for her own.
Do you think this is such a good idea? She's not going to be too pleased to see us.
Do you want the story or don't you?
Yes.
Come on, then.
It's just that I don't see how bothering Mrs. Devlin's going to help us.
She's Pat O'Connell's mother, isn't she?
Yes, but she's an old lady. She's not well and may have to go to hospital.
Who told you that?
Karen.
Mrs. Travers.
Yes.
What's the matter with her?
Karen?
No. Mrs. What's her name? Devlin.
Oh, varicose veins. That's why they were so keen to get Pat out on parole in the first place. If she has to go into hospital, the kids end up in a home. There's no one else to look after them.
Good angle. Innocent suffer while guilty ones still at large. Terrific story. Are they cute-looking kids?
I suppose so.
Could help if we got a photo.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on. With the right sort of publicity, we'll get their old woman off yet.
Mind if we come in, Mrs. Devlin?
Miss Devlin?
Mr. Fraser, I don't see how you can help Pat now.
Well, we believe we can get a lot of sympathy for him, Mrs. Devlin, especially looking at it from your point of view.
Yes, it must be difficult with your bad legs. Alex tells me you might have to go in a hospital. If you do, what's going to happen to the kids?
G'day, young fella. What's your name?
Andrew.
That's a nice-looking train set you got there, Andrew. Get that for Christmas?
Yeah, David gave it to me.
David? Your brother? Huh. When was he here, son?
He wasn't. We just told Andrew it was from David. We didn't want them to think their brother had forgotten them.
Ah, of course not. You still haven't answered my question about the hospital?
Depends on what happens to Pat in court.
She's due today. You going?
I've been called as a witness. If you'll excuse me, I've got something on the stove.
Yep. That's where we should be, mate, at the court. That's where the story's going to be.
Mm-hmm. So Davey boy was here prior to the shootout, eh?
How'd you make that out?
The toys.
You heard Mrs. Devlin. They just told the kids they were from David.
Oh, come off it, Alex. A local toy shop was knocked off a couple of nights ago. If we go down to the local police station and check the stolen list, those toys will be on it.
And they may not be.
You want to bet? So long, kids. Enjoy the trains.
Bye, kids.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yeah. Oh, thanks very much, Mrs. Devlin. Don't worry. We'll see ourselves out. Come on.
Thanks, Mrs. Devlin.
Bye.
It's only me, Dave.
Where the hell have you been? Get in and shut the door.
I got a paper.
Anything about Mum in it?
No.
That trial must be coming up soon.
It just says they're mounting a massive search for you. They're even searching
I can read.
Well, you got to get out of the state.
Not until I find out what happens to Mum. Look, I just want to find out what happens to her, OK? Then I'll go. Might go up north. Queensland, maybe Darwin. I've always wanted to live in the sun. Don't get to see much inside. Don't worry, Herbie, you'll be rid of me. You'll be in the clear.
Yeah. Sure, David. Anything you say.
I was round at Mrs. Devlin's this morning.
Oh, how is she?
Much the same. Jack Symington, he's the guy I told you about, the one working on the paper with me. He's found out that David O'Connell broke into a toy shop and stole some toys.
That's hardly shattering news, is it, considering the trouble he's in already?
You don't understand. He gave the toys to his kid brother and sister. They were playing with them at the house. Jack saw them.
You mean you took that reporter to the Devlin place?
I told you, he's working on the paper with me.
And you took him there?
Yes.
Of all the stupid things to do.
I didn't know.
Don't you realise Pat could be had up for receiving?
Of course I do. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You mean the police know already?
I thought I could do a story.
The story? Well, why don't you just stop blundering in and spoiling everything?
Well, you brought me in on this in the first place, remember?
Yes, I remember. I'll never forget it either, or forgive myself.
Karen, we...
Get out!
What's that damn reporter doing still hanging around? Hey, what's the matter?
That damn reporter has just found out that David O'Connell stole some toys and gave them to his brother and sister. By now the police will have found out and Pat will have been charged with receiving.
Well, I knew something like this would happen. I told you not to get involved.
You told me not to get involved. What right have you got to tell me anything?
Every right.
Why?
Because I love you. And I want to marry you when you eventually come to your senses. That's if you'll have me.
Oh. Well, Greg, I don't think this is a very good time to be discussing marriage.
Why not?
Well, look what's going on around us. Pat almost back in prison. Her son on the run for murder. Doreen's so freaked she won't even step outside her bedroom door.
So I don't see how it's going to help anybody if I don't tell you how I feel. Unless you don't feel the same way, of course.
Oh, Greg, that isn't it.
the other day when I heard that 2 men had been shot outside Pat's place and I thought one of them was you. Well, I realized then how much I cared about you. I know it's probably unfair to ask, but couldn't we wait for a while? Just until things settle down.
I waited last time, remember, and look what happened. You went off and married somebody else.
I won't make the same mistake again.
I'm gonna make sure you don't.
Thank you. Stand on the line. Name?
Patricia Mary Teresa O'Connell.
You've been convicted of breach of parole, consorting with a known criminal, withholding information from the police, and receiving stolen goods.
It was just a couple of toys for the kids.
And receiving stolen goods. You've been sentenced to 1 year's imprisonment, sentenced to be served at the conclusion of your current term. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll take care of her from here.
Good morning, Mrs. Devlin. We wonder whether you'd mind answering a few questions. Did you come to see your daughter?
If you'd like to give himself up, Mrs. Devlin.
Aren't you satisfied? You got your story? Mrs. Devlin to see Pat O'Connell.
Have you any idea where he might be staying? Mrs. Devlin.
Friendly, wasn't she?
Well, what do you expect?
All right. Keep your shirt on. Well, what are you getting so upset about? It's a great story. You'll be getting your first byline out of this. What's up? Turn you down, did she?
Who?
Your girlfriend, Mrs. Travers.
Oh, grow up. She's not my girlfriend. Not with that doctor bloke hanging around anyway.
They on together?
Well, you're the great investigative reporter. Thought you'd have known that.
No. That's a great human angle for the story, though.
Where are the kids? I couldn't bring them.
Why not?
They're upset enough as it is. Even little Emma knows what's going on. She's not stupid. The story's plastered all over the telly, in the papers. There are even reporters outside the gates when I came in.
Where are the kids now?
With the woman next door. I told her I wouldn't be long.
What a mess. I wonder where Davy is now. Probably scared out of his wits, poor kid.
Poor kid. You don't want to worry about him. You've always been too soft on him. We'd all be better off if he gave himself up.
Well, what good would that do now? I've been sentenced. It'll be years before I get out of here.
You're not the only one to think of. What about the little ones?
I know, Mum. I'm sorry. I know how tough it's been for you looking after them.
And I can't do it anymore, Pat. That's why I'm here. I've got to go to hospital for the operation. You're going to have to sign the papers. The kids will have to go into a home.
You know, Greg, it seems a whole lifetime since we've done anything like this.
Well, you better get used to it. From now on, it's going to be a regular habit.
I thought doctors were too busy for long lunches.
I'll manage somehow. What's the matter?
I was just thinking about Doreen, wondering whether or not she's all right back at the house.
Stop worrying.
You're the one who told me I was responsible, remember?
Listen, by the time you get a few more women in that place, it'll be so busy, she won't even notice whether you're there or not.
I guess so. Oh, Greg, I don't deserve to be this happy. Not after all that's happened.
It's exactly why you do deserve to be happy.
But what about someone like Pat O'Connell? All she ever did was look after her family, and look what happened to her.
Karen, there's nothing we can do for Pat. Oh, look, I'll get in touch with Angela Jeffries. Maybe she can arrange an appeal or something, okay?
Bloody years. 2 years for nothing. It says Gran's going into hospital. Andy and Emma will have to go in a home.
Who's the bloke kissing the Sheila?
Some plainclothes bastard that led the raid.
Says he's a doctor. Dr. Greg Miller. He was looking after your gran.
What? Bloody doctor! He's supposed to be helping people. He's the bastard that led the raid. Brought the police. It's all his fault. Mum in prison. Andy and Emma in a home, me here.
I can get you out. I got this mate.
I'm not going anywhere, not now. Not till I've sorted this bastard out. I'll kill him.